Hey, welcome to The Guide. I'm Yo, that's Will.
Hey.
Hey. Hey, we got a lot to cover today. We're going to talk about Kung Fu Panda 2. Do your Kung Fu move.
Aww.
Yeah, that's what we learned from the movie. We'll also talk about LA Noire, a game that's changing video games and bridging the gap between movies and video games. Very fascinating piece of entertainment that's out there right now. But first, a quick note on The Hangover Part 2.
Don't see it.
As I said, it was a short note. Actually, Steve-O, just in case you were thinking maybe, possibly, Steve-O went to go see it. Why, we don't know, but he did, to help you out. And he has all the reasons not to go see that movie. Full written review for you at HollywoodJesus.com, in case you're curious. I don't know why you would be, but... LA Noire, it's set in 1947 Los Angeles, and they used some new face mapping technology. And so what you see in the game is actors doing a performance. It's not a digitally created character. Yeah. It's an actual person's performance, which really changes the experience of the video game.
And you have to pay attention to the characters in the game, because you have to read their face when you're interviewing somebody to tell whether or not they're lying. They could roll their eyes or look away.
They might swallow a lot, and just look nervous. It's amazing the nuances that they get on the characters' faces, and that is a big part of the game. Talking to people. I know that sounds boring, but it's not. And also the investigative part I really enjoy, looking for clues, because you have to be thorough.
Yeah. See, I think I more so enjoy like the car chase through the town.
Right. Yeah. Even though you couldn't drive very well, I know that you had fun doing that. But yeah, it is a mature rated game, and you need to take that serious, because these are gritty crimes that you're investigating. The serial killer that you're trying to chase down, based on an actual unsolved series of murders that took place in the 1940s.
Yeah. So the graphic content, it's realistic, but it's not over the top, because it's what you would expect in the events.
It's not there just for shock value.
Crime.
It's not just oh, look how gory we can be. This is like crimes that took place. But yeah, it's pretty gritty.
And everything is there for a reason. Everything's a clue in this game.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. So it's a pretty graphic game. The language is pretty heavy too, and that's one thing I wish that they had, like an option where you could screen that out, like you do on Gears of War or some of those games. That would have been helpful. But the rest of the content, yes, it's gritty, but it plays into the part of the story. It's true to its genre, that detective noir genre, which is often a very dark genre, but very, intriguing as you try to work through the whodunits and try to track down the killer. There are a few things, aside from the content, that kind of bring the experience down. Some animations when you're walking around takes out that whole immersive factor, because you start moving like a robot. Yeah. You'll like end a case and your captain will be angry because you didn't do a good job, and then at the start of the next case you'll be like, great job, boys. And so like the story can be a little disjointed sometimes.
So you don't have to actually be a great detective to get through it.
No, yeah, and that's one of the things that is a little bit off. Like your decisions do affect things, but not necessarily the overall outcome, which again can kind of ruin the immersion factor.
Right.
But still, a fascinating new type of gaming experience, the way they put it together. And one of the things that's really intriguing about the game is everybody has something to hide.
Yeah.
Nobody is who you think they are. They're all trying to hide something, which is so true to life. We're all hiding something. Yeah. We really are, let's be honest.
Everybody puts on their character when they go out.
Yeah, sure, we all do. But the thing is, we can't do that with God. Psalms tells us that he knows our thoughts from afar. So there's no hiding from him. And really what a lot of these characters in the game are looking for is healing. Right. And we can only find that when we are honest with God, when we stop playing games and trying to pretend like we can trick him. Because we can't.
He's a really good detective.
He is a really good detective, but he's also a very loving and compassionate God. So as I was going through that, I was thinking about how so many people are hiding with no hope. Right. But really there is hope, because God loves us anyway. He knows everything already. And he still sent his son Jesus to die for us. It's amazing. And we can find the healing that we need in God's arms. So, LA Noire, a fascinating experience.
What would you rate it?
I would give it a 5 out of 7. There's those few technical issues, and then the content issues are something you have to take serious. It's a mature rated game. So for people 17 and over, I would give it a 5 out of 7. But it's an amazing experience and something that we haven't seen in video games up to this point. So, got to give them a lot of credit for trying something new.
Yeah.
That's hard to do in the gaming industry.
Yeah, I really think it's setting the bar for a whole new level of games.
Yeah, and then, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to move on.
All right, yeah, good. All right, move on.
Move on. What are we doing next? What is Kung Fu Panda 2?
Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yo was practicing his kung fu noises earlier.
Something like that. I don't know.
Sounds like a sushi kitchen gone wrong.
So Kung Fu Panda 2, if you've seen the first movie, which I have, you know what to expect. And I was very happy with what this sequel delivered, because it delivered more of what I loved from the first movie, raised the stakes, introduced a cool new character. Gary Oldman did a great job as Shen.
Yeah, he did.
He was exactly what you would think an evil peacock who wants to take over the world would sound like. Assuming that you ever thought that an evil peacock would want to take over the world. Anyway, so I really enjoyed it.
Well, see, I didn't see the first one, so I didn't I didn't know.
Sorry.
Can I finish?
Yes, you can. I'm sorry.
I didn't know what to expect,
Right.
and so I went in with the feeling of more of expecting a Pixar in-depth story, developed plot kind of thing.
Right.
And really, it was just a silly panda fighting.
I know
movie.
it bugged you that even though he's the Dragon Warrior, that Jack Black's character Poe didn't seem all that good at Kung Fu most of the time.
It was kind of stressing me out a little bit.
I could tell when we were in the theater.
It's like, why are you letting him hurt you? You're a Kung Fu dragon.
It was pretty funny to watch your reaction sometimes. Although I will say that this movie had what I thought Pirates 4 was missing. It had the whimsy, the excitement, the fun in the action sequences particularly.
Yeah.
Where Pirates 4, it felt like the action sequences happened because they had to. Here, they felt fresh and exciting. I was involved. I thought it was fun. I had the same reaction as Poe sometimes, like, that was awesome! So hardcore!
Skadoosh.
Skadoosh. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Although, the whole concept of inner peace that they kept bringing up throughout the movie, you know, I was thinking about that and how it's what everybody wants.
Right, yeah.
And we all want it for the same reason that Poe and Shen want it. They wanted it to find healing from their past. That's why they wanted inner peace. Well, we can only find that in God. The Bible calls God the God of peace. And the reason that we can find peace in Him is because when we rest in Him, He banishes all those other things that take away our peace.
Right.
Fear, anxiety, worry, doubt, all of those flee in the presence of God. So inner peace isn't something we can attain by what we do. It's who we know. And if we know God, that's where we find peace. And we can't find it any other way. Now, it's not going to make us Kung Fu masters. We're not going to be able to skadoosh stuff. But we will find healing from those hurts in our past when we find peace in God.
Totally. Yeah, and the movie, it does put an interesting emphasis on that. It's talking about how scars healing and how
Right.
scars can't heal. But then, in the words of Poe the Panda, scars...
Wait, what do scars do? They
fade.
They kind of fade. Which is true, you know?
Yeah, and only with the help of God.
Right. So I would give Kung Fu Panda a 5 out of 7. Thought it was a lot of fun. Not as good as the first movie, but that's hard to do anyway. The fact that it was still funny and still exciting and still really enjoyable, I think is a huge accomplishment for this. And so I enjoyed it 5 out of 7.
And I just have to go with a 4 just because I was a little turned around. And I think if I had seen the first one prior to the second,
If your expectations had been different.
Yeah, if my expectations were different, then I think I'd have a little bit better of a review for it.
Well, that's fine. Next week, we're actually going to take a look at Dirt 3, and we'll also have a review of X-Men First Class. And for full reviews of anything we've talked about today,
You can go to HollywoodJesus.com.
and that's going to wrap things up for the guide. Have a great long weekend.